Okay, I just want to run you guys through some hints and some suggestions on the internal research assignment. We've established now the background behind the assignment. It's going to be a macro economic assignment. So you'll be looking at the economy or the wider economy. Most of the stuff we did at level 2. I'm going to develop on a lot of the stuff that we did learn last year, though. The teaching on the macro economic stuff will start just after the exams, week 3. So while you're doing the assignment, we'll also be doing some teaching and have conversations about it in class, so that's going to help. So the topic of the research is economic theory useful for making sense of the numbers. So it's pretty key to be clear about that topic. Is economic theory useful for making sense of the numbers? So really what your research is going to be doing is going to be comparing what happens in the real world against what we've learned in economic theory at a macro level. So I guess you'll be looking at some of the models we've looked at, ADAS model, PPCs, etc. So that's the sort of stuff that I'd be expecting to see in your assignment. So let's look at the basis on what you have to use as the foundation, if you like, for your research. You've got to take 2 pairs of variables from the list. So the list there, interest rates and the TWI, which of course is the trade weighted index, inflation and the OCR, the official cash rate, economic growth and investment, unemployment, economic growth, inflation and the current account balance, and the operating surplus and economic growth. Obviously the operating surplus is the government's budget. So you've got to take at least 2 pairs of variables. Now I'm not going to tell you which 2 you should take, but my advice is to look at the 2 you feel the 2 pairs you feel most comfortable with and start with them. So part 1 is the planning. Now the planning is not going to get graded, it's not part of the assessment, but it's a really important part of the research. Your plan will put in place what you're going to need to do to find the data you need for your assignment, and write exactly how you're going to go about that and how you're going to pull it all together. So it's a really important part, and I want it handed in, typed up, and well thought out before you actually start the information collection process. If I was planning this assignment, what I'd want to do is I'd want to pick my 2 pairs of variables, then I'd want to define them first so that I understood exactly what it was that I was talking about. Then I'd want to predict the likely relationship. Okay, predict the relationship you think would happen between them, and predict whether you think that's going to once you've made that prediction, then think about how am I going to prove or disprove my prediction. So what theory would I use to prove or disprove my prediction? I just want to stress, even though it does say the gathering of primary data, I highly recommend you ignore primary data. Now primary data of course is actually interviewing someone, writing a set of questions and interviewing someone. I don't think it makes a lot of sense in this assignment. So I would ignore primary data and just focus your attention on secondary data. Secondary data is published information. Okay, that's what secondary means. Published material. You can feel free to hand in your planning at any stage in the next little while, but I have set a deadline of the 9th of the 5th, 11, and that's Monday, week 2 of term 2.